Hey guys, Ningen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and as you can see from the title, we are putting out another no items run on Global. This is of course transformation boost. So I've tried this a few times, but obviously the biggest liability was always SCR Super Buu, and there are ways you can kind of build the team around not having to use him. But it does require bringing a lot of units who are not necessarily the best tanks. I feel like it could be done with really good RNG. But obviously today I will have already put up the 55% video. I did pull Cooler off screen after my stream. I did a few more multis when I was in bed. And then obviously like grinded up all his medals and stuff. So when I woke up later on in the day, I decided I'd have a go at this, because I normally don't like to waste keys outside of the weekend. But I kind of figured that Cooler was going to make this easier. Like, you know, all the time leading up to his release, I was trying to think of teams, but in the back of my mind I was like, well, when Cooler comes out, I'm sure it won't be that difficult. And yeah, this was legitimately my first attempt, and obviously the fact that you are watching this, we did it straight away. Now, bear in mind that my Cooler is 55%. I still haven't recorded my collab that I mentioned in the stream, where I'm really hoping to pull dupes. But yeah, currently 55%, and then the friend is only 79%. I have actually seen a rainbow one pop up on the guest thing while I was doing the event to farm his medals, but unfortunately, even though I tried refreshing the friends list by like jumping in and out of boss rush and stuff like that before I attempted this run, I could not get this random rainbow wild Cooler to show up. So we got the 79% one, and I figured that would probably be good enough. So obviously, as you can see here, we are running the STR Perfect Cell and the physical LR Cell. STR Cell nerfs the entire enemy rotation just by him being here, and then of course he infinitely stacks his attack and defense. Not super useful in Super Battle Road, because you obviously don't get as many turns to like really abuse it, but it's still very useful. The fact that after he attacks he takes less damage, and then of course you have the option to get his 11 key super, in which he still raises his attack and defense. It's an AoE attack, and he also heals. So that is very good. So we take a super here, 150,000. Not great, but as you can see, this team has 420,000 HP. Very strong. And obviously this turn, very good defensively. I decided to float off Janemba because obviously Janemba and Golden Frieza are the two best tanks on the team, so I don't really want them to be on the same rotation. Like, as good as STR Cell is linked up with physical LR Cell, I don't want to run them as a main rotation, just because STR Cell does take a little while to build up, and of course you do want him to at least super attack once to raise his defense a little bit before he gets hit. So putting him in the first slot where there's a whole bunch of attacks could potentially be dangerous. I would rather put somebody like Golden Frieza or Janemba there. So then of course we have this AGL Final Form Frieza. He is an AoE unit as well. He does have a chance to stun. He also has a chance to seal. Against multiple opponents, he gives himself key and a massive attack and defense boost. So he's obviously very good for Super Battle Road. I did pull an extra dupe of him. I think it was on the stream. I can't remember. It might have been on my off-screen summons. But I did pull an extra copy of him, so he is 90% for me. Obviously, STR Perfect Cell is Rainbow. LR Cell has two dupes. I did pull a second dupe for him from the Godku banner. That was the only LR I pulled from that banner in about 500 stones, I think. So, whilst not great, I will still take an LR pull in 500 stones. I guess it's not the worst. So, now here we are against the androids. Obviously we got a little bit of a bonus here with the fact that we have type advantage over 17. But as you can see, the type disadvantage against 18, not the best. But obviously we go for the 11 key super, which allows us to heal a little bit of that damage back. And as well as the fact that it does raise our defense. So then as you can see, we took no damage from 17 and a significant amount less from 18. And then of course LR Cell able to heal with his 12 key super, which is also an AoE, and then the RNG coming in clutch for us here. I think I actually did prioritize additionals over crits with him. Obviously for a physical unit that's a hard hitter, I would normally go 15 crit 8 additional 3 dodge, but I'm pretty sure I went 11 additional 12 crit for LR Cell, and of course 3 dodge. And you can see it pay off in this run. I'm pretty sure he double supers at least once or twice more. And then of course we get Cooler to target 18 so he can lower her attack, and then he only takes 14k, which is not bad for type disadvantage on Super Battle Road. That was the friend with the 2 dupes, but still very, very good. So obviously Golden Frieza able to hold things down defensively in this first slot very, very well. Then Final Form Frieza can AoE, hopefully potentially seal both of them. Start super attacks in the first slot against Golden Frieza, bring it on. Especially with the support from Cooler, and they're both going to do it as well. We of course have type advantage over 18, so she only does double digit damage. So yeah, I was very, very impressed with the power output of this team. I honestly thought that it might take me a couple of tries based on, you know, RNG. Obviously you can always catch like a bad super in the wrong spot. But I was very confident this team could do it. And yeah, very surprised when we did it on the first attempt. I must say, at this point in this second fight, I was actually feeling super confident. But I did forget just how strong Ultimate Gohan is in that last fight. So he does put up a little bit of a fight. But we do get a very flashy sort of ending. Thanks to, of course, he's a Hybrid Saiyan. So you know what that means for STR Cooler. So obviously here now I've got Janemba on this rotation where I want him. I'm going to keep him linked up with Cell. I'm like 100% confident Janemba will finish off 18, but I still go for the 11 key super with STR Cell. Not for the AoE, but obviously for the healing benefit. And 2.8 mil on Janemba with no support on the rotation. He really is very, very good on this team. Hopefully you guys have seen the 55% Cooler video that I put up earlier. He is of course on that team. I would say low-key that is my new favourite team in the game. So I probably mentioned that in that video, but I'm recording this one first since I did the run like as soon as I woke up on my phone. You can see the little red icon in the top corner from the screen recorder app. So I am going to record the 55% Cooler showcase after this and put that up first, because obviously for most people who came to my stream, I haven't like posted publicly that I did actually pull him off stream, so you guys will have probably seen that video by now. But here we go, final fight. So here we do make our first little mistake, but obviously it doesn't cost us the whole run. I figure that AGL Final Form Frieza will be all good in that slot, forgetting of course the fact that against the single opponent he doesn't give himself that massive attack and defensive boost. He is obviously still getting a support buff from Cooler, especially because there is only one opponent, so he's getting the transformation boost buff. But when he took 20k off this first hit, I did a concern for a moment. And then of course we take the super as well. So even with type advantage at 90% on this crazy team, I was a little bit surprised that he took quite so much damage. But the good thing about one opponent on Super Battle Road, I've mentioned this before in the previous runs, when you have units that can lower attack on your team and you only have one enemy, it means this Gohan is just going to be constantly getting blasted with the attack down effect, to the point where eventually he's not going to be able to do any damage to us outside of super attacks. So I switch up the rotation here to keep Cell in the first slot, just basically because of the metamorphosis link between Janemba and Cooler. I want as much extra HP as possible, so for that same reason I go for the 11 key super again with Cell. It's really good. If he didn't raise his attack and defense on the 11 key, then maybe I wouldn't have, but the fact that he does still do that as well as heal, and then of course he has that passive attack debuff as well. So there you go, we get off that one super and then he's down to taking a couple of thousand damage. And we're also very, very close to a Dokkan attack, but of course these one opponent fights, whilst you do have that advantage of being able to focus status effects on one enemy, they do have an absolute metric ton of health. So the fight is going to take a few turns. And obviously at this point I realised that of course we can transform Cooler on turn 3, but I've been using him as an off-rotation unit. So here we are on turn 3, but with no Cooler. So I keep Frieza in the last spot here because I know even though he isn't the best defensively, it's almost guaranteed that he'll take less damage than Cell. Plus it means I can hide Cell away in the middle here so he can get off his AoE. Probably not do a huge amount of damage, but he will heal us. A super attack from Gohan here is absolutely perfect because Golden Frieza is the defensive monster that he is. Of course, saying that, I actually forgot, and there you go, he did take quite a lot of damage. I think we must have started the turn under 50% health, so he didn't have his full damage mitigation. He did still have some, which is good. Obviously, if this was pre-Easy A, we probably would have died there. And of course, the benefit to that is actually the fact that under the 50% HP, while you do lose some damage mitigation, he actually does get an attack boost. So this Dokkan attack will do more damage than it would normally. So unfortunately no crit, but we do get a 1.6 mil. And then of course normal attacks, not really much of an issue for him here. So at this point I'm a little concerned because we saw AGL Frieza taking 20k from normals. Cell getting the additional super again is obviously big here because we get a second heal. But obviously he has been attack lowered a few times, so I'm interested to see how it plays out. And then boom, Frieza gets that part of his passive for only fighting one opponent, and he stuns Gohan with his attack. It's only for the one turn, so he's unstunned now, but you know what time it is now, boys. It is time for the beast himself to be unleashed. And here he comes. I'm so glad we could have this in this video, because this animation is beautiful. So, well then, Gohan, ready to kneel? So here comes Final Form Cooler, and this is of course the friend, the 79% Final Form Cooler, and that's very important because that's about to play a big part here. I go for the 11 key again with Cell, just because why not maximise all the healing. But look at this madman, no support on the rotation, double digit damage, 2.4. Obviously Gohan has been attack lowered a couple of times, but still. We're about to plant some trees here, 1.68 with a crit. Oh, and look, here comes the additional from his passive, the chance to do an additional attack, which of course, now that he's fighting the Hybrid Saiyan, is also going to be a guaranteed crit. Oh, and what's that? He infinitely stacks his attacks, so each of these are getting more and more powerful, and boom. That's where the 2-dupe friend comes in clutch. We get the additional from the hidden potential system as well. So 3 super attacks that all did over 1.5 million damage. So then in comes Janemba, and bam, we take out future Gohan. So there you go. That was transformation boost completed on global with no items. First attempt. I'm genuinely surprised that it was that easy. And we even beat my best time by a considerable margin. I think it's like 5 minutes. Yeah, like, well, about 4.5. So we absolutely smashed our best time. We used no items. Very, very strong team. Like I said, this is Cooler with no dupes and then a 2-dupe friend. So if you pulled Cooler, even without dupes, as long as you can grab a friend that has at least 2. I mean, you could probably even do it with a 55% friend. You just wouldn't have gotten that 3rd additional in the last fight. But there you go. That is it done. Another run in the books. STR Cooler is an absolute madman. I went a little deeper on the banner than I was originally intending to, but I had to have this man, and this is why. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord. The link is in the description below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.